Welcome everyone out to the sunny Western Districts. I'm Jason, the exercise physiologist, and we've got Wayne. Just going to run through a few exercises you guys can do out in the farm.
Hi, I'm April Brinkman. I'm a farmer. I work on a merino property, and I also work in Vitality at the gym. Not only do I work on the farm here, I also work out the shearing sheds as a wool classer. So I know how important it is to keep my fitness up in that job also. I spend a lot of hours of the day standing at a wool table, generally actually not moving a great deal.
So the exercises we're going to run through today, if you've got any injuries or illnesses guys, just make sure you check with your GP before you start. At any stage with the exercises, if you feel any discomfort, stop straight away and seek further advice. What we're demonstrating here is the neutral back exercise. Now it's a great exercise that you can use in the setup for all your stand-in exercises. Very important that we keep the back nice and neutral so that we don't put pressure on it with all of our exercises. So Wayne, what I'm going to get you to do again, always with the setup, you want your feet shoulder width apart, and we're always looking forward with the head towards the horizon. Okay, from here, I want you to imagine you've got a towel attached to your coccyx, so the lower part of your back. I'm just going to get you to pull your tail in between your legs a little bit. Excellent. From there, just going to get you to pull your belly button in towards your spine about 50%. And just holding that there. Now the key here guys, if you can't breathe and can't talk while you're doing this, you're actually using your respiratory muscles, your diaphragm. So Wayne, can you talk to me while you're holding that in position?
Yeah, I can talk to you, yes.
Yep. And can you feel it working around the abdominals then?
Yeah, the abdominals and the butt muscles.
Yep. So what we're trying to do guys is we're trying to hold the pelvis in the right position. So if we can hold the hips in the right position, it's not going to put the pressure on the back. So this exercise, what you do, you can do it lying down too, but what I'll get Wayne to do is to hold that position. So pulling the tail in between the legs and pulling that belly button in and holding that for 10 seconds. So what we're doing here, we're strengthening up the abdominal muscles so that we can take the pressure off the back with a lot of the other exercises we do. And relax.
That we focus on our core region. It's basically the powerhouse of our body, and it's quite a big muscle there, so we really want to utilise that muscle. And it also helps with our posture, so we want to remain nice and tall and straight with our shoulders back, and just really trying to draw that belly button into the spine is probably the best way to describe it. And when we're bending from the knees, we want to keep that neutral position there through the core.
Cardiovascular fitness. So what we're aiming on there is improving heart fitness. So what we're trying to do is increase the blood supply to all the working muscles around the body. As I was saying to Wayne, you can get your walking throughout the day. As long as you get accumulated up to 20 minutes of walking at a fairly moderate intensity, that's what we're aiming for.
Next time we feel like rushing to the bike there, maybe just stop and think, oh well, do I really need to get on the bike, or can I walk?
The second component is the strengthening of muscles. What we're aiming for here, first of all, is we're trying to increase muscle tissue. We're also trying to get a nice balance of the strength right across all the major joints. So what we've got Hannah demonstrating here is the full double squat. Now, for a demonstration purpose, we're going to get Hannah to hang on to the gate, just for stability and just to demonstrate the technique. So with her feet about hip width apart, we're going to get Hannah to do the squat. So what you want to do is try and keep your heels down, make sure your knees don't come forward over the toes, slowly push back like you're trying to have a seat. Now, most important, as we've spoken about all throughout these exercises, is maintaining that neutral spine. So again, I'll get Hannah to have another go at that here. So pushing down through the ankles, keeping the heels on the ground, the knees aren't coming forward, and that back's nice and neutral. Okay, now we've used the gate to demonstrate the technique. I'm going to get Hannah to step back a little bit further. Okay, exactly the same. Now this is a great exercise to practice all your safety lifting around the farm. So whenever you're trying to pick anything up off the ground, same sort of technique. You don't want the knees coming forward, you don't want the heels coming off the ground, and you want to keep that back nice and neutral.
Another exercise we can do which focuses on our core and also those leg muscles, which are, like I explained before, are very important with our lifting. Also on farms we tend to be up and down steps quite a bit, especially the grain farmers who are up and down stairs on silos. And yeah, it's really important we get the strength there in our legs. So I'll perform a lunge for you now. So we're just stepping forward. Again, we're keeping that core nice and straight and strong, shoulders back, and it's just down into the lunge and back up again. And then stepping forward, and you're keeping nice and stable there through the core. So you're kneeling down and pushing up there through the toe.
So we've got the chair push up, guys. So what we're working here is the lats, which is a big muscle group underneath your arms. So what I need you to do is push yourself up onto the edge of the chair, move the feet forward. Now what we're doing, we're not actually moving the elbows at all, we're just dropping the shoulders down, so letting the shoulders come up around the ears, and then deep pressing them down, so pushing them down towards the ground. You should feel that work underneath the arms. So what I'm going to do is get Wayne to have a go at that. So you sit on the edge of the chair, now straightening up, pushing up. Now you might see the gymnasts like at the Olympics do this, so dropping the shoulders up around the ears and then pushing them down. That's it. So we should feel that working in underneath the arms there and the lats.
I want everyone to bend the arms.
Yeah, so that's it. So just dropping the shoulders, so letting the shoulder blades rise up and then drop down. Actually doesn't look like you're doing much, but it actually really starts to work in underneath the lats there. Can you feel that working?
Yeah, I can. You're talking 100 kilos plus, so it's got to be working.
It's kicking in nicely. And you can see Wayne's looking directly forward. The thing you don't want to do here is drop the head down. If you drop the head down, you're going to start to round the shoulders forward and it changes the exercise.
This exercise I'm demonstrating for you now is called the forward bend leg kick back, and it's targeting the back of our leg there, so the hamstring and the glutes. So just holding onto something just to support yourself, just leaning forward, and we're just lifting that foot and kicking back and lowering down again. So we're lifting that leg as high as we can.
So we've got Hannah all set up here for the wall push-up. So what you want to try and do is have your hands a tad wider than shoulder width apart. Feet back, so you're leaning slightly toward the wall and making sure the back's nice and straight, so you've got the abs engaged. So what we've got Hannah to do now is slowly bend the elbows in till they go about to right angles. So a fraction further, and then pushing all the way out. The important thing here is that you don't lock out any joints, so you don't want to lock out the elbows, so we'll have another go at that. So slowly bending into about right angles and pushing all the way out. If you want to make this a little bit harder, what you can do is actually push your feet out a little bit further away from the wall, so you're going to increase the lever angle and make it a little bit harder. So Hannah's having a go at that now. So bending the elbows in and pushing out. So you're keeping the back nice and straight there, that's good technique.
This one we're just leaning forward from the waist, so we really want to be parallel with the floor there, just arms out in front. It's really important to keep the shoulder blades drawn up and the elbows in by the side. So we're lifting those pieces of wood up to the chest and then lowering down again. Looking straight ahead, slight bend in the knee. Again, drawing that belly button up to the spine, keeping a nice flat back. So we can either do this one with a bent knee or to add a little bit more resistance, we can try it with a straight leg. I'll demonstrate it with a bent knee first. So we're just sitting on the edge of our seat, just with our hands, just palms down, just holding on to the edge of the chair there. And you're just slowly lowering down and then lifting back up again. So again, our back needs to be nice and straight. So concentrating on that core, drawing the belly button into the spine, You're lowering straight down and then pushing up. You can also do that with our straight leg. It adds a little bit more resistance. Just the same technique. So lowering down. We just need to be mindful that when we lower down, we're not lowering down away from our chair. Our back needs to remain nice and straight. To demonstrate some back exercises that we can do on the farm. Obviously it's important to have that strength for our legs with our squats and our lunges. When we are doing any heavy lifting, just being mindful not to use our back. It's also important to get some strength though in our back. So this one I demonstrate for you now is just going to target that lower back region. So we're standing shoulder width apart, looking straight ahead, shoulders back, keeping that nice neutral spine, so drawing the belly button in, keeping a nice flat back there. It's important too that we've got some weight in our hands, that's why I'm using these pieces of wood. So slight bend in the knee, shoulders back, looking forward, bending forward, arms straight, just below the kneecap, and slowly rising back up again.
Okay guys, the next exercise we're going to demonstrate is the side arm lift. Now, it's working the big muscles in the back, in the middle of the back. So last exercise we worked the lats. This one here is working the muscles up a little bit higher. What you want is a nice comfy chair, leaning forward a little bit. Now, what you want to do is start with your hands underneath your knees, raising out from the shoulders, like you're making a W in your arms. So raising out, pause, and touching back down. Now I'll get Wayne to demonstrate for us. So. Now you don't need all the fancy equipment in the world, guys. We've just got a couple of bits of firewood here to demonstrate this exercise. So what you might find is doing it without any resistance might not be enough. So you can add just a little bit of resistance, whether it's a couple of cans of dog food, a bit of firewood, whatever works. Is try and keep the weight fairly even. Okay, Wayne, so leaning forward. Now what I want you to do is raise out from the shoulders, not bending the elbows too much, and going back down. So I'm just going to get you to tuck your chin in a little bit further and drop that head down. And I want you to squeeze my finger in between your shoulder blades there. So raising up and coming back down. Good technique. What you want to try and do, guys, what you might find is one arm might be stronger than the other. Quite often, especially with farm work, we tend to rely on one arm a little bit more. So if you've got a weaker arm, let's say it's your left arm, really focus on keeping that left arm as high as the right arm. We'll just do a couple more there. Perfect, and relax it down.
This exercise I'll demonstrate for you now is targeting the shoulder region. It's called a side lift. So we're lifting one arm at a time, lifting up, keeping a nice neutral spine again. So be mindful not to be bending over when we're lifting up. We want to remain nice and straight. So we're lifting the wood up no higher than shoulder height and lowering back down, and we're repeating on the other side. So again, nice neutral spine, slowly lifting up and lowering down.